Star Wars just made Anakin's story even more tragic. You thought it couldn't be done, but they did. I've been going through and reviewing some of the recent comics, and today we're looking at the brand new Phantom Menace 25th anniversary special. Now, this new comic is basically the story of episode 1, but there are a couple of insertions of new scenes, filling in certain gaps, and to be honest, going into this, I was worried they might ruin it, because when you're changing or adding to George's story, you're always running the risk of doing something which fans don't agree with. But to my surprise, the insertions work. There are new scenes with Shmi, as well as some more story with Jar Binks, one that is surprisingly heart-wrenching. And there's also a bit of poetry with a Tusken raider, who Anakin helps, which is ironic because they're the ones who are going to kill Anakin's mum in Attack of the Clones. But, all in all, I think the comic does a great job at both illustrating and contributing to Anakin's downfall and tragedy. Let's dive in. So, the comic opens with Anakin's dream. He sees his mum and Jira, remember the old woman from episode 1, chained up because they're slaves. And Shmi asks, "Where are they taking us?" "We're too old and weak, Shmi," Jira says. "They're shipping us to the Zygerian work colonies." "What? No. My son's coming for me." "Shut up and get in line," one of the Nikto guards shouts. "Wait, you can't." And before she knows it, a yellow lightsaber ignites. Okay, I said I didn't have any problems with this comic. This has got to be the only one. Anakin wielding a yellow saber. Disney loves those, but it's just a dream. And he says, "I told you I'd come back, Mum. I told you." This is really sad, because of course in Attack of the Clones when Anakin does go back to Tatooine, it's too late. Then Anakin, in the present day during the Phantom Menace, wakes up. "What is it, Anakin?" "I had a dream, Mum. I was a Jedi." "A Jedi? We don't have Jedi in the Outer Rim, Annie." "But I was. I had a laser sword. And I came back to free you." "Oh, that was nice of you," Shmi says, almost dismissive because it's just her son's dream. "If more people were like you, Annie, the galaxy would be a much better place." "I'm gonna do it, Mum. You wait and see." "Oh, Annie, you're a good boy, but don't be too good, for your own sake. It's a dangerous galaxy, and you're still a boy. I just want you to be safe." And then, one of Watto's droids that acts as an enforcer barges in. "What's with all this lounging around? You're late for work." Shmi says, "Tell Watto that I'll be there in..." No. The droid interrupts. Watto had to run to Anchorhead to meet with some scroungers. He needs the boy to go to the spaceport and pick up a shipment. Anakin barely touched his breakfast, but duty called, and so he left. On Mos Eisley, one of Watto's clients says, "You tell Watto this is the last delivery." "All right," Annie responds. On his way back, he notices a Tusken that's been kidnapped by a Nikto and a Rodian. Anakin helps free the Tusken. And this is so dark, so ironic. The poetry in this instance is that Anakin frees a member of the same species that kills his mum on Tatooine. The Tusken is thankful, and at the end of the comic, returns the favour by giving Shmi a black melon. Little did either of them know what was to come. And this comic really demonstrates Anakin had a heart. Now if you're an Expanded Universe fan, and you've read Tatooine Ghost, then you know that one of the biggest ways later in the timeline Princess Leia could forgive Vader was discovering the kind of boy Anakin was before he turned to the dark side. And this comic respects that, and I like it. So Anakin goes back to Watto's shop. He did a hard day's work, and so he returns home to his mum. She's worried and asks him, "Did you make sure you stayed out of trouble today?" "Of course I did, Mum," Annie replies. "Good boy." So this all happens before he meets Qui-Gon Jinn, and so then we see some of the scenes from the Phantom Menace, the pod race scene, and then Shmi being so proud her son won. "I'm so proud of you, Annie. You have brought hope to those who have none. I'm so proud of you." And then we see the most important conversation between Anakin and Qui-Gon Jinn. "Your mother's right, Anakin. You have helped many people today, and you did things no one else could have done. How does that make you feel?" "It makes me feel good, I guess. You should enjoy this moment, but it's not always easy to help people." "You thought that was easy?" Anakin cheekily replies. "Huh, no," Qui-Gon says, "but taking your next step will be hard." "Wait a minute, You're talking about becoming a Jedi? Yes, it's a difficult life, Anakin. It requires discipline and sacrifice. I want to help people, like Mum says. No matter what. I know, Anakin. I know. Now the reason this is so important is that later in the comic, we see a rare scene between Obi-Wan and Anakin before the end of the film where they converse, where Obi-Wan speaks to Anakin just after Qui-Gon died. And Anakin remembered that Qui-Gon was the only one on the council who trusted him. Anakin is skeptical that Obi-Wan can do the job as a Jedi Master, despite Obi-Wan reassuring Anakin that it was Qui-Gon's dying breath to train the boy. Anakin is not convinced because he knew Qui-Gon was the only one who truly had faith in him. So then we see Anakin leaving his mum, and the words of Qui-Gon resonate in his mind: discipline and sacrifice. Back on Coruscant after Anakin's test, this is a conversation we never saw on screen. Anakin opening up to Jar Binks. He says, "The Jedi Council isn't gonna let Qui-Gon train me. I don't know if I'll ever be a Jedi." And this next bit, the way Jar Jar replies, is such a graceful and salvaging moment for the Gungan. He says, "That doesn't make any sense. I don't know about the heathen, but every Gungan misses their family, and everybody's scared sometimes, or even scared all the time. Worried about themselves, worried about their people, worried about their friends. That's a sign of a good heart. And Yuza got one." Jar Binks is being the perfect friend to Anakin. Jar Jar is being not only a good friend, but also trying to relate to Anakin, telling him he feels homesick as well. And then in the next scene they confirm Anakin heard the conversation between Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, where Obi-Wan says, "The boy is dangerous." And this sows seeds of doubt in Anakin's mind about the friendship and capabilities of Obi-Wan later on to train him to be a Jedi. So after Qui-Gon's death, this conversation goes down. "I heard what you did. You saved everyone, Anakin. But are you alright? I heard people talking, and it all feels wrong. Qui-Gon's dead, isn't he? I'm sorry, Obi-Wan. I gotta go." "Anakin, wait. Qui-Gon believed in me. When we went to the council, he was the only one. Anakin, his last wish was that I should train you, and I will keep that promise." And so the scenes go on, as we see in the movie, and Anakin has to just trust Obi-Wan has his best interest at heart. But it goes back to the fan debate. Would Anakin have turned to the dark side had Qui-Gon survived? But then we have a final new scene. Shmi is walking through the marketplace. She sees Jira and expresses that she misses Anakin. And then Shmi confides in C-3PO, who Anakin never finished. And then at the very end, the Tusken Raider Anakin freed gives her a melon to thank her for what her son did. And in this moment, Shmi feels like it's a sign from the Force. "It's alright, 3PO, she says. "No matter what happens, this is enough. He had a dream, and I had one too. I dreamed my son was a Jedi." And that is how the comic ends. Really pulls on your heartstrings, and I didn't expect it. But, big fan of this comic. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.